there's a big tree down over in his yard over there.
Yeah.
Looks like an oak tree.
I can't see it from here. Oh, yeah.
That's a big oak too.
Look at the bird feeder. It's just,
Yeah.
you can see it, it's just,
My neighbor to my left here has lost 2 trees already when the wind was blowing from the east. Now it's blowing from the west, and I'm afraid these trees back here in the back are going to fall. I wanted to show you some satellite imagery of damage from the hurricane. So this is the city of Pensacola, Pensacola Bay, East Bay, Blackwater Bay, Escambia Bay. Escambia Bay is fed by the Escambia River system. Blackwater Bay is fed by the Blackwater River and also the Yellow River. Okay, what I wanted to show you was the company that's currently replacing our Pensacola Bay Bridge had a bunch of barges in the bay, and they did not secure them properly, and 22 of them got loosed and caused major damage all around the Pensacola Bay. Let me zoom in first here and show you the first picture. This is the one that's most tragic. It's completely knocked out probably 2 to 3 sections of the bridge, and it's going to put this bridge out of commission for probably 6 months. One hit there, another one hit here. Hit this fishing pier over here, knocked it out. And these barges are scattered all over the bay, and I'll show you a few of them. In particular, I wanted to show you one that is just a miracle nobody got killed. All right. Here's one way over here. But the one I wanted to show you is right here. This barge is a huge barge. It came ashore, just totally crushed that seawall there, and went right in between these 2 houses. These are very large houses. You've seen some of them in the background of some of my fishing videos. It's just a miracle no one was killed. While I'm here, I want to show you one of the marinas over here on this side of town. This is Bayou Chico, and you've seen me fishing back in the back of it before. There's a sailboat turned sideways. There's a fairly large, looks like 40 or 50-foot boat setting up on the seawall. Another sailboat on the seawall. Some more. And look at all this oil. It's either oil or gasoline. And that's what I'm really concerned about, is what damage that will do to the fishery. This is the famous Joe Patty's Seafood. Their boats got knocked around. That's a boat storage area, dry storage. But look at all this oil. There's one that's turned on its side. These are pushed up against the seawall and look like they're damaged quite a bit. And up in this area here, there's about a 60 or 70-foot catamaran sailboat sitting there. A couple of smaller sailboats. This is our baseball park on the waterfront. And beside the baseball park, I want to show you something here. It just so happened that the replica of the ship Nina was in Pensacola at the time, and it was anchored in this area right here, but it got washed up on the shoreline here. That's it right there. And there's another large sailboat right there. It didn't get damaged that much that I understand it's going to be able to sail out. And this is our downtown marina. Boats come in here, go in, and they moor all along here. As you can see, it was damaged heavily. That appears to be a boat that is turned over there on the side. They're all smashed together. All the docks broke loose. So, not good. You've heard me talk about Pensacola Pass before. This is Pensacola Pass, Gulf of Mexico. Turn right, you go into either Santa Rosa Sound, which is this direction, or Pensacola Bay, there. Turn left, you go into Big Lagoon. Just looking to the left of Pensacola Pass there, you've got 3 new areas that were cut through by the storm. Those will probably close up. That's normally what happens when we get washouts like this. They will close up fairly soon. A very damaging thing that happened in Ivan, and I hope it doesn't happen with this storm, is these dunes. The last time I fished there were 8 to 10 feet high. But what happens with this tidal surge of water comes across these and just basically flattens this area. And that sand has to go somewhere, and it dumps into this area right here, right along the beach. Before Hurricane Ivan in 2004, these areas I fished along here were, 4 to 6 feet deep. Well, now all of this area is, it's 2 feet all the way out to here. It covered all the grass beds, and took several years for those grass beds to get reestablished, and it really hurt fishing for quite a while. Let's keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't happen. And this is Johnson's Beach. This is where I launch my kayak most of the time, right there. I also launch at Big Lagoon State Park and come out, fish on this side sometimes. And there's a marina over here that got a lot of damage. Looks like there's a boat lying on its side. These boats look damaged. Can't tell if that one's upside down or not. There's one that's upside down. And you can see oil again. There's another one over here that's submerged. Pretty good sized boat. So I'm hoping this launch will open up soon. That's Big Lagoon State Park launch there. But they're closed, and because they had considerable damage there too. So as soon as they open up, I'm going to try to put my boat or kayak in the water there and look around. It appears to me that all of these docks are docks, just one dock after the other here, with boathouses and boats. Hey, there's a boat right there. Looks like it's sitting upside down. That's a pretty nice boat too. It was in a nice boathouse that was sitting out there. But all of these docks are gone. There's one that looks like it's okay. So anyway, we will see what happens to the fishing in this area. I'm hoping it's not going to be like Ivan and take 2 or 3 months to recover. So we will see. Well, it's been about 2 weeks since Hurricane Sally.
I'm finally getting able to go fishing, so let's go see what we can do. On the way out of my neighborhood, I'll show you some of the damage in my neighborhood. My neighborhood got hit really hard. A lot of trees down, a lot of trash. So let's get on our way. I just want to say thanks to all the people who sent the emails and messages regarding how I fared during Hurricane Sally. Personally, I did fare very well. I did not have any structural damage to any of my buildings, my house, my workshop, my storage shed. Here you can see on both sides of the street that what is represented by most of Pensacola. There's some trees over there. We have really sandy soil in Florida, and it's pretty easy once the ground gets saturated, and we had almost 20 inches of rain, and once that ground gets saturated, then it's pretty easy for a wind to push over trees. It doesn't take much. 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds will easily uproot a tree. That marina over there got damaged pretty heavily. You can see boats turned over there. There's a large boat turned over down there. Well, I don't know what to expect today. I'm disappointed that the water is so filthy. Normally after hurricanes, and it's been 2 weeks now, it takes at least a month for the water to clear up if you don't have any more rains. The heavy rains that we had, up to 20 inches in places, all of it comes down the rivers and the Pensacola Bay, and really messes up the water quality for a good month or so, sometimes longer. So, but I'm just happy to be out. I've worked my tail off the last 2 weeks, so this is a good relief for me. This past weekend I rode around just to see where I could possibly launch either my boat or my kayak, and the ramps that were open, boy, the parking lot was just overflowing with people. So people are getting out, and until the Coast Guard and everybody gets everything cleared from the water, it's pretty dangerous being in a boat. This poor guy here lost all of his dock. Plus, look, see where his boat is up there. With hurricanes, it's not only the wind, it's the storm surge. And Pensacola was in the northeast quadrant of the storm, which is the worst place to be. So we got a large storm surge. Even though it was only 5 or 6 feet, this Berry Island over here is probably 5 or 6 feet. So water washed over it, and apparently it was above this dock here, so that's how it takes out the dock, is it the waves batter the boards and lifts them right off the dock. I've heard some of the local bloggers say that this storm was as strong as Ivan. That is the farthest thing from the truth. Ivan was a monster storm. people were not prepared for this storm. Like this guy here, I'm sure he would have taken his boat out of the water there if he had thought this hurricane was coming our way, but it looked like it wasn't coming toward Pensacola, so nobody was prepared, even me. Normally inshore fishing after a hurricane is pretty bad because the water is so filthy and dirty and filled with debris. All the waters coming out of the rivers feeding the bay are going to reduce the salinity considerably, and it will last for a month or two before it finally gets stabilized. So in the bays and the inshore waters, the fishing is usually not that good. In the Gulf, what you worry about is the storm moving or displacing all the bottom structure, all of the reefs and so forth that have been put out. I don't think this storm was strong enough for that, and I know some friends who've already gone out fishing on the reefs, and they say there's no problem there. There's lots of fish. Fishing in the pass is usually very good. There we go. Finally, a trout. A little trout, but a trout, no doubt. Oops, thank you, little fella. Boy, that's what you really have to watch out for after a hurricane. That is a big piece of dock or something. Looks like part of a dock. Can you imagine hitting that with your boat and going 25-30 miles an hour? Well guys, it was good to get back on the water again. I'm disappointed with the water quality. It's really bad. Water's really dirty. It's got a lot of floating grass, a lot of damage, a lot of piers gone, a lot of boats turned over. It's going to be a while before things will get back to normal fishing wise.